Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. And guess what? He's got a gift just for you. And it comes in the form of a book, specifically Sarah's Song by Kingsbury, a part of the Red Glove series. In fact, it's book number 3, and just like Gideon's gift, and just like Maggie's miracle, I've given this book 5 stars. If you pick up any of the Red Glove series of books from Kingsbury, you will indeed be buying yourself the best Christmas gift you very well might receive this holiday season. A true gift from good old St. Nick and Mrs. Claus, or as I would like to think, from heaven above. Now, as a busy mother of 4, sometimes I have time to make a really lengthy video and explain everything to you, and sometimes I don't. Today is one of those days where I don't know if I'm coming or going, but I knew I needed to get this 3rd book out in the Red Glove series to you before Christmas. 1, to stay true to my word, but 2, because it is such a gift. And don't we all need gifts of kindness and love during the holidays, especially? So this book talks about a woman named Sarah's Song. It comes from an old woman whose husband is now deceased, who is living in a nursing home, who realizes her time is short. In fact, she feels like her time is so near that she's praying to God for one more Christmas where she can take out her 12 days of Christmas ornaments, relive the story, count the days down, and share the meaning of the ornaments with one more person to share the story with, to make a difference in their lives, to give them a Christmas miracle. She's praying to God that he will lead the right person to her to share the story with, someone who, once they hear this story, their lives will change for the better, learning from her mistakes, learning from her love story. Now, just like there's Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, the papa and the mama, and they have this beautiful love, so did Sarah experience love. Except, unlike a magical, pure, beautiful love without error, Sarah's love story took a detour before it was made right. So this book is about couples that are falling apart, coming off the rails, and then a slow merge back onto the right track. And so Sarah's Song is about redeeming love, about saying she's sorry, about hope that there is still time. Sarah's Song opens up with the song lyrics themselves. So let me go ahead and read those to you. They frame the entire story. You'll want to reference back. The meaning runs deep, the more you know. It's not too late for faith to find us. Not too late for right to win. Not too late, let love remind us. Not too late to try again. In my life, the straight and narrow had a face, and it was yours. I took crooked paths around you, shut you out, and locked the doors. Long I wandered, tired and aimless, seeking all the world might hold. There you waited, true and blameless, soul of goodness, heart of gold. Nothing lasting came of those days, months of bitter freezing rain. I was blinded, couldn't see you, choosing sorrows, living pain. And one day, I looked behind me at the way life could have been. Suddenly I had to find you, had to see your face again. Somewhere in my mind, I see a place for me and you, a place where faith might find a future. Give us both a life brand new. Together in God's mighty grip is where we both belong. Find me, know me, teach your heart the words to Sarah's song. It's not too late for faith to find us, not too late for right to win, not too late for love to bind us, not too late to try again. Now, out of all of the Karen Kingsbury books I have read thus far, this one I have the least in common with. Now, I do have an unrequited love, a story that I'm working on where it's fiction, and yet, of course, there's overlaps to my own life, because don't we almost all have that one person from our past that there could have been a love story, and somehow it just never quite came together for one reason or another. Oftentimes it's because we're young and we choose to sail our ships in a different direction. We're not quite ready to tether ourselves down, to be tied up at the dock. And we don't know if the person that we are flirting with, hoping to have a future with, is going to be able to join us on our explorations. There's doubts. For whatever reason, again, it just simply didn't work out. So while there may be someone still out there that I could say, let's just try again, for the most part, that's where the similarities to my own life end within the pages of Sarah's song. And yet I'm still able to give it 5 stars because it's beautiful and brilliant. And if you are a newly married couple, it's a great book for you. And that these 12 days of Christmas ornaments, pulling one ornament out per day as a countdown toward Christmas, where the ornaments have significance within your love story. Each ornament tells the tale of how it is that you two came together. What a brilliant idea. For those whose marriages are on the brink, such as the nurse that God brings to Sarah's side for Sarah to share her story with. For those with marriages that are falling apart, going off the rails, there's hope for you yet. If your marriage is not too far gone, if there's just some disquiet and discontent, you're not quite able to pinpoint what exactly is wrong, perhaps you're just sick of the status quo, you can bring back the magic again with these 12 days of Christmas ornaments. Creating ornaments with your spouse, going shopping at a Christmas store, finding things that tell your story, each of you picking them out separately together, each of you presenting something about how your love story came about, came into being, and the days you've spent together. Let these ornaments tell your story. And then as you pull them out, one by one, share their special meaning with those within your family circle, those around you, those you love, those who you want to impact with your love story. And as with Sarah's song and Sarah herself, she would tell her story to those that would listen. And God did answer her prayer that with her last Christmas and her final breath, she was able to tell the story of her own husband. How as she pursued fame and fortune, she left behind a man that had asked to marry her. She left behind someone that was pining after her for years upon years because he was about 5 years older than her and needed to wait till she had graduated high school, needed to wait until she was forging her own path. And he knew that she wanted to sing, whereas he wanted to provide stability and to be able to provide and care for his family to be. So he was preparing a home for her, a place for her, and yet he knew she needed to spread her wings. And so he asked her to marry him in hopes that perhaps she might change her mind. But in the end, she did need to fly. She needed to learn the hard way. Now, he needed to learn how to let go. And it broke his heart, but he didn't go looking for another new love. He just put his head down and worked his way up from a math teacher to a principal still waiting. And he wasn't looking, and no new love caught his attention or found him. And in the meantime, Sarah was on the road with a musician that was simply no good. She'd caught his eye, but for all the wrong reasons. He made her promises that he never intended to keep. Of course, she didn't know that when she set off with him on the road. She had to learn the hard way. She made mistakes. She let herself go to the wrong type of person in pursuit of her dreams and pursuit of fame and fortune. Now, later on, she does still find herself able to record a song, and the song that she records is the one that I read to you at the beginning of this video. It shares her love story with the man that waited for her, that she still hoped was single and that they might try again. And he did end up hearing her song on the radio. And when she went back home to visit with her family, to get out of that crazy scene, to get herself grounded again, she was able to reacquaint herself and re-meet at a park the man that had always been, the one whose love had never wavered. And they meet, and he gets down on bended knee again. It's as if no time has passed, because he's already forgiven. He doesn't even need to know the details of the story. He's just wanting to try again. And this time when he asks her to marry him, she says yes, and they get married. And part of the beauty of the story is that her children, when she was having to move into this nursing home, made sure that she had a window overlooking the same park where her life changed for the better, where the love story got to continue after the detour, where their lives came back together and their love was reunited, rekindled, and turns out it had never gone out to begin with. And don't we all long for that type of redemptive story? And in fact, each of us is living it as we speak, because Jesus died for us. He died to save us. He stays the same. Even when we flounder or we take detours, he's always waiting with open arms, ready to love us again. And in fact, his love has never stopped. Love covers a multitude of sins. And so it is with Sarah's love story. They could have forgotten, but she needed to and wanted to remember. And so part of her tale is a tale of what not to do, right? So in her ornaments with her husband, she actually included her detour of fame and fortune and traveling after the wrong things, because it's one of those stories where you hope to save others from the sorrow that you lived. You hope to save others from themselves, that they never have to have a coming apart. Just like the mama and papa of fables, and that they're always to stay together right from the start. And so while her ornaments show that falling away and the coming back together, the real hope of Sarah's song is you don't have to try again. But if you do, if you find yourself in a position where you've made a decision that wasn't the best for you or another, and you have genuine remorse, may you find a way to write a poem, share a song, do something to right the wrong, to say I'm sorry, and to ask to try again. In this case, Sarah wrote a song, and her love found her. And it's a beautiful story, worthy of every single star I've given it. Again, as with the other books in the Red Glove series, you're not going to regret buying this book for yourself. There's a broader story at play for all of us. And I hope you heed it. Heed the love of our Father in heaven, of his Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit living inside of us all for those who believe. Now, I've shared basically the whole story with you, but I'm going to go ahead and end this video reading the inside cover copy, because why not? The ritual is the same every December. 12 handmade paper ornaments and a small plastic Christmas tree. 12 days for Sarah to remember her long ago love. 12 chances for Sarah to sing her song once more. Every year, Sarah Lindemann celebrates Christmas in a special way. It is her time to remember where she came from and what she is today, and how a special song gave her another chance at love. But this year, the ritual is different. This year, a desperate young woman is listening, a nurse who lingers by the door as Sarah hangs the first yellow decoration on her tiny tree. Sarah feels the hurt in this woman's soul and reaches out to her. Her hope is that she can do something to help both of them. And so the older woman sings. Each day she hangs a paper ornament on her tree and relives a chapter of her story, drawing her new friend into the hallways of yesterday and a love that rose and fell, only to bloom again stronger than ever. Sarah knows the heartache that results from making bad choices, and she knows too how God can redeem any situation. Her own life is proof of that. As Sarah sings, she prays her new friend will understand the true gift of love, and that to give it up without a fight means to give up on life itself. But will Sarah be able to convince this troubled young woman before time runs out? 12 days, 2 lives, and 1 song, Sarah's song. That just might bring about a miracle for everyone who hears it. I'm praying for your Christmas miracle, friends, alongside of my own. Thank you, as always, for being here. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and know that I consider you a friend. Ring that notification bell so that as friends, we don't miss our chance to meet time and time again. Until next time.